The video for May the 20th, 2017 is entitled Truth Changed to Lies. I don't read the Bible like I did when I was younger. As I've said previously, I began reading it through every year when I was only 13, 14, continuing until my early to mid-30s. Romans chapter 1 is an interesting read. There are several poignant verses, including 22, quote, "Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools," end quote. Also 25, "They changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator," end quote. As I see it, the leaders of this world are indeed fools. They believe they have some ancient right to be the rulers of this world. Look at the mess they've made. Ironically, it is the fake Jews, brainwashed Christians, and radicalized Muslims that lead this present world into unparalleled debauchery and unquestioned crimes against humanity. Yes, they changed the truth to lies. And we have been fed a diet of falsehoods all of our lives, making discernment challenging. I was surprised what came to me as I sat down to think about what I was going to talk about today, and those verses came from Romans chapter 1 came to mind. And as I said, I don't read the Bible every day like I used to. In fact, I don't even read it every week or every month. It's not something that's at the height of my activities. I make videos now every day, and I'm doing something different with this video. I'm not turning the lights in the room on, except I lit the candle, which is a fake candle. It's just a one that flickers, a little bulb that flickers, battery-fed candle. But it's I'm curious as to how it looks like it's on fire back there. It's not. It's just that flickering candle that's creating that image. But I don't have any other lights on in the whole house. So anyway, here I sit basically in the dark. It's it's between 4:30 and between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning. And again, as I came to the computer, what came to me was they turned the truth of God into lies. That was the one verse that, for some reason, as I came out of meditation and came to the computer, that was the verse that was ringing in my ears, so to speak, was playing in my head. So I, of course, looked it up and read much of the first chapter of Romans. And there's a lot in that chapter. I'm not even going to touch on some of the subjects that are raised there, but it's certainly interesting. In any case, I look at the world that we live in, and I've been doing this for a long time, trying to make sense of the insanity of it all. That the very people that claim to be rulers are becoming exposed as known pedophiles. Not just pedophiles, but child killers. They murder children sometimes in ritual, sometimes not in ritual. But nevertheless, they are child murderers, child rapists, and just criminals of to the extreme level. I mean, everything has been turned inside out and upside down and turned on its head. And we live in a world that, how can any sane person look at the world that we live in and say that it's the way it's supposed to be? It's obviously been distorted. It's obviously been taken from any semblance of decency and of honorableness and perverted into the exact opposites, where everything that would be an ideal is ridiculed, and the debauchery is now considered normal. This is the world that we live in, the way that many people see it and the way that it is portrayed in our culture, on our media, on most of our media, in our education system, in our media, the newspapers and the television, and I mean everything has been distorted, and what we have is a mass of confusion. We have people that don't know what the truth is, and I mean I'm struggling with that myself. I mean, I used to think that I knew, but what do I know? I don't know how to change it. And now people say, Ron, you're God. And while I know that we are all part of God, I personally, and then no one else personally, is God. No human being on the planet is actually God. Only part of God. Now, we may contain within ourselves the elements that God has, but that doesn't make us uniquely and individually God. That's one of the lies, that we think that, well, if we're God, we can do what we want. No, we can't. God, as I'm using the term now, is not only the creator, but the fountain from which creation comes. And God is first and foremost of all love, and then truth. Love and truth work together. Well, it's not loving what the leaders of this world do. When you understand the debauchery and the crimes that they've committed against humanity, and they've been doing this and getting away with it for generations going back millennia. I know I've said that before, and I'll probably say it again, because this is the reality of the human experience in what we call three-dimensional reality here on planet Earth. And people are diverted so easily into things that don't matter, whether the earth is round or flat, and all sorts of other ridiculous things that really don't make any difference whatsoever. The truth of the matter is our present experience in this world is diabolical. It is insane. It is unquestionably off the mark. What mark? The mark of reason, the mark of love, the mark of truth. Are we going to keep believing the lies? Are we going to keep allowing the liars to maintain a level of, any level of control on this planet? If we are, then we don't have any hope. Then we are in a situation that is so dire that it can only be described as hopeless. No hope whatsoever. But I still have hope that in the darkness and out of the darkness, a light shines, and it flickers like the artificial candle flickering behind me. It flickers, and it flickers in my soul. And it's been flickering in my soul since I was a youth, since I was a child. No, I don't believe the Bible the same as I used to. I don't believe it's the infallible Word of God. I think it's been doctored with and tampered with. And I do believe it contains truth in the Old and the New Testament. I believe the Quran does too. I believe the Bhagavad Gita does too. I believe all sacred writings, and some that aren't considered sacred, contain elements of truth. This is just the reality that truth has to permeate, because we are humans and we have part of God in us. We are creatures that are capable of creation, more so than anything in the animal kingdom. Anyway, I'd like to see a shift. Will it happen in my lifetime? I hope so, but I don't know that. Anyway, thank you for listening, and namaste.